What's up, you freaking geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to teach you about coordinate geometry. All right, so let's go over a handful of examples here. The instructions just say, what are the coordinates of the vertices of each figure? All right, so let's start with kind of an easier one, number 7. So here we have a rectangle with base B and height of h. So this is our rectangle. Again, it says the base is a distance of b and the height is a distance of h. Now sometimes it's a little bit easier to think of these in terms of numbers. So if I told you the rectangle has a base that's 5 units long and the height is 3 units long, well, in this case it'd be a little easier to find the coordinates, right? So first of all, here we have this point O at the origin, so that's always going to be at 0, 0. Okay. Now again, if I told you the base instead of just b, what if I told you it was 5, right? Well, then we would know that this point right here would be at 5, 0. Okay, but this distance right here, we don't know what it is. It's not necessarily 5, it's just a distance of b. So in this case, we know that this coordinate right here is actually b, comma 0. Right? Same thing with the height. So if you want to think of the height in terms of just a number, so let's just say 3, we would know that this point right here at S would be at 0, comma 3. Right? But again, we don't know that it's necessarily 3. We just know it's a varying height labeled as h. So we know that this point at S is actually at 0, comma h. Okay, and then lastly, this point right here, T. As you can see, to get to T, we always start from the origin, right? And then we're going to go over B units, a B amount of units, and then go up H units, right? So to get to T, we're going to go over B and then up H, right? So that's the coordinate for T. All right, now the next one is number 9, and this one just says this is a square centered at the origin with side length B, okay? So each side length, so the distance from T to W is a distance of B. Same thing from W to Z, that's a distance of B, right? Z to S, and from S to T. Okay, so if the whole distance right here is a distance of B, that means the distance from the axis to the coordinate must be half of B, right? Or we could write that as B over 2, right? Same thing. So again, the distance from the axis to a coordinate point is half of b, or b over 2, right? So the distance here would be b over 2. The distance here from w to this axis right here would be b over 2. Same thing over here, b over 2, right? It'd be the same thing on all 4 sides. b over 2, b over 2, b over 2, and b over 2. Okay, so let's start with coordinate t. How do we get to coordinate t? So we have to go back, right, in the negative direction, b over 2 units, or again, half b. And then we go up in the positive direction, b over 2 units, right? So we have to go back in the negative direction, b over 2 units, and then go up, b over 2 units. Okay, and that makes sense, right? Because as you can see, t is in quadrant 2. So that means the x-coordinate should be, right, this is the x-coordinate, should be negative, and the y-coordinate should be positive. Now, as you can see, W over here is in quadrant 1. So you should expect our x and y coordinates to both be positive, right? So for W, again, starting from the origin, we're going to go over half b and then go up half b, right? So for W, this one is at positive half b, right? So b over 2 and b over 2. Okay, now S is in the 3rd quadrant, so we should expect both x and y coordinates to be negative. So again, to get to S, we have to go back half b and then down half b, right? So we go back half b and then down half b. All right, and then lastly, we have Z. So to get to Z, which is in the 4th quadrant, we're going to go over half b and then down half b. So we're going to go over in the positive direction half b, and then we're going to go down in the negative direction half b. Okay, now let's just try a few more examples here. They're going to get a little bit harder. So number 10 is a parallelogram where S is a units from the origin. Let's just start there. So S is a units away from the origin. So this distance to this distance right here, that distance is a, all right? And then it says, and Z is b units away from the origin. So Z, so this distance from the origin right here is b units away. Okay, so let's plot these two first since they're a little easier. So S right here, again, we know it's a units away from the origin. So this coordinate right here must be at 0, comma a. Okay, and then Z should be, this one would be at B, comma 0. Okay, now for T and W, we don't really have a way to relate where these lie on the coordinate plane in relation to these two coordinates that we were given already, so A and B. So this length right here and this length down here. So in this case, we can actually just make up our own unit. So we already have A and B, so let's just call the distance from S to T, let's call this distance C. All right, and for a parallelogram, the opposite sides are congruent, right? So if the distance from S to T is equal to C, we can also say the distance from Z to W is equal to C, okay? So now we have kind of a bridge to get to these other two coordinate points. So first of all, let's start with T. So to get from the origin to T, you can see we have to go up A units and then over C units, right? So then our X coordinate would be C, and then the Y coordinate would be A. Okay, now how do we get to W? Well, again, we have to go over how many units? Well, we have to go over this distance, which we know is B, and we have to go over this distance, which is C. So basically B plus C, right? That's the distance from the origin to W, B plus C. So then our X coordinate would be B plus C. And then we don't go up or down, right? We just stay on the axis, so the Y coordinate would just be 0. All right, number 12 now. So this one is an isosceles trapezoid with the base centered at the origin, and it also says with the base equal to 2a and OR is equal to C. Okay, so first of all, it says the base is centered at the origin. So the base down here is centered at the origin, all right? So that just means this half is equal to this half. And it also says the base is equal to 2a, right? So if this whole distance is equal to 2a, that means this half must be equal to 1a, and this half must also be equal to 1a. Okay, and then lastly it says the distance from O to R is equal to C. So the distance from the origin to R right here is equal to C. Okay, so let's start with these kind of easier points down here since we already have the distances for them. So again, this is the origin at 0, 0. And then to get to S, as you can see, we have to go back a units. So we have to go back in the negative direction. So negative a, comma 0 is S. And Z would just be the opposite, right? We have to go in the positive X direction. So we have to go positive a units. So positive a, comma 0. Now we have R. Let's get R really quick. So to go from the origin to R, we don't go side to side, we just go straight up C units, right? So the X coordinate would be 0, and the Y coordinate would just be positive C. Now lastly, we have T and W. Okay, now for a trapezoid, the distances that we were given down here, the A's, and the height, don't really help us much in finding the coordinates for W and T. So in this case, we're going to have to just come up with our own way of defining these lengths. So to go from R to T, let's just say that's B units. And to go from R to W, that would also be B units, right? So now that we have kind of a way to define the top over here, how do you get from the origin to T? Well, you have to go up C units and then over B units, right? So the X coordinate would be B, and that would be negative B because we're going in the negative direction, right? So negative B, and the height would be C. And it would be the same thing to get to W, right? So we'd have to go up C units and then over B units, positive B units, right? So in this case, it would be positive B, comma C. All right, now we're going to do just a couple problems that are going to be a little bit harder. So the instructions for this one just say, give the coordinates for point P without using any new variables. So here we're given that this is an isosceles trapezoid. And for an isosceles trapezoid, we know that this leg is congruent to this leg, right? And we also know that these two lines are parallel. Okay, so how can we find the coordinates for point P? Well, one kind of easy coordinate we can find right off the bat is actually the height, right? The y coordinate. And the reason for that is because we know that it's on the same height as this one. right? So this coordinate right here tells us that the x distance is a, right? So the x distance right here is a, and then the y distance to get to this point, this distance right here, is equal to b. Okay, so we know that this distance, or this height, I should say, is b. So this point right here, point P, as we know, is on the same line. So the y-coordinate for P must also be b. Okay, now how can we find the x-coordinate? Okay, well, let's remember something. So we have an isosceles triangle, right? So again, that means the legs are congruent. So that means if this distance to go from the origin to this point, you have to go over A and then up B, it's symmetrical across the trapezoid. So to go from this point to point P, we also have to go over A and then up a distance of B. Okay, so what we're looking for here, the x-coordinate, is the distance from the origin to this point right here. Okay, now we don't have this point, obviously, but one point that we do have and one length that we can use along the bottom is we know that this whole distance, right, this whole line in purple is a distance of c, right? So the distance from the origin to this point right here is a distance of c. But we don't want to go all the way to the end to where point C is, right? Because if we go up here, we obviously go past point P, right? So we have to come back some distance, right? We have to come back this amount of distance. And what's that distance? A, okay? So we can say that this point right here, that point right here is at C minus A2, right? And again, that makes sense because we're going the whole distance, which is C, but then coming back a distance of A. So that's how we land at the point we need. So the x-coordinate, we can just write it as C minus A, right? So the point P right here is at C minus A, comma B.
So if you found the video helpful, definitely leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any other questions or want to see any other examples, just let me know in the comment section below.